Hola, amigas and amigos. Deeply Awake, Chats 2017 by Kathy Vick. How are you? Well, oh well, oh well. Things are very fine around here. Fine as frog hair, as my dad used to say. Yeah, I know my hair is wild and woolly. It's because I'm in the middle of wanting to have dreads, but my son has decided that the hairstyle that he's always told me is actually just mine and I should just get on with it. I told him a couple days ago I was ready. Look I got rats in my hair. It's time. I got to move on this. Who am I going to get? Got a couple friends who can do this, right? And he said, Mom, I've been through so much change and loss lately, and I just don't know. I think that might be a little too extreme right now. Okay. So I'm going to tell him today when I see him. That's cool. I get it. You know, it's like, that's commitment, baby. And so I get it. That's fine. Once he's got some ink on him, and he's got his piercings, once I get my ink, and I get my piercing, then we'll see. How's that? So, around birthday time. Ha! Maybe at the end of September. I keep hearing September 26th. It's usually the 25th. September 26th. It's a big day. But there are other big days. Today I referred to it. I referenced it on Facebook. Today's day 39. I don't think I'll keep up with that. Mostly because I lose track of things and it's just not important. It's important today because it's not day 40. It's just day 39. And so it begins. So I'm labeling this 40 days, and I want to explain. So through a long, bizarre series of circumstance, which I have not shared with the GP, I am in a position where I am now semi-retired. Yay! High five those angels. It was many tears were shed, and about 2 weeks worth of, oh my God, why did I just blow this up? But I just can't physically do the work anymore, and I'm so supported and loved and pampered and nurtured, and everybody's so excited about my choices now. So even though it was like, oh, I can't do this, I knew I had to. And so my last day was July 11. And that meant July 12 was the beginning of a new time. Wow, I could feel it from the moment I woke up, because I knew I didn't have to do certain things ever again. And I felt nothing but relief. I didn't like it, and I'm glad I don't have to do it anymore. Maybe I'll do paperwork nursing. I don't know. Got to keep the lights on. But yeah, I'm done. And I started around this time of year in 1985. I was going to do it for 5 or 10 years until I got my writing career off the ground. It was just going to be a gig to pay the bills until I could get things going as an artist. Yeah. Well, you know, that's okay. Oh, it gave me so much. Oh my, oh my, oh my. And now it's done. And today I was told two things. I was given this awareness. I was at the sink, and I was giggling. I was so excited because I realized, oh, wait a minute. Honest to God, my job now is to get better. That's actually part of the expectation with support, is that I'm actually getting better. So I have to do I want to, and I have to do the things that are good for me. Isn't that neat? And then I kept, at the very beginning of the morning, while I was still, you know, what is that, horizontal and with my eyes kind of closed, I was told I needed to look at the calendar it wasn't going to be a number. I couldn't do the math. I needed to see the physical calendar and count from July 12th until the eclipse, because that would be an important number to know. So I did that. You want to know how many days? Well, of course it would be 40. Why would it not be? Why would it not be? And I've had that theme of, oh, I'm in the desert and I'm walking through the desert. I don't really feel this is 40 days of in the desert at all. I don't really expect to be, you know, tempted by temptations. All that happened already. No. This is just, isn't this nice? Built into it, this beautiful, beautiful number. 40 days to prepare. Because the train has left the station. I had my ticket and I was sitting on my suitcase for a super long time. But the train came and I'm on it and it's moving. And I'm not relinquishing my seat. So, part of the reason, excuse me, that I had to quit work is because my health. I have an orthopedic issue, and I was very concerned about my general health as well. And I watched a video. I don't exactly know how I stumbled upon it or why I watched it. It's just not anything I would normally do. But I watched a lecture from a physician. I watched the second and the third by a physician named Natasha. I cannot believe Natasha Campbell McBride, MD. She wrote Gut and Psychology Syndrome, and she also happens to be the parent of an autistic child, and she noticed a cluster of clinical symptoms, and she did her work. And this is a plan that actually reverses some of the symptomology that I myself experience. I mean, when she's describing these kids, she's describing me as a child. It's freaky. I mean, stuff that I don't even talk about. But fussy eating, weird bowel habits, eczema. I had asthma, but in my 20s. Lots of nausea, and always very nauseated, and I would get sick physically a lot, and and plus dyslexia and dyspraxia and being clumsy and being a little weird and being depressed, being weird, that's being on the spectrum. And so I'm really glad to have found this, because I feel like I can address something that I know for me is specific for me, because I have this syndrome, being on the spectrum, and so this is part of it. And when you are on the spectrum, it's probably wise to look at this, and new kids need to be looking at this, because it is about removing environmental toxins. It's the same stuff the teachers talked about, and it's the same stuff Enrique's talking about. It's just freaky deaky. So I stumble upon this woman, and I realize that even though I may not have access to allopathic medicine until January, that's okay. That's okay. I have so much power here. I'm not a victim of an owie. This is another fine opportunity. Woo! Not only to learn, but to integrate. And so that's exciting to me. And although it's had its ups and downs, but I'm very, very excited. And yesterday, so at the end of the evening, it's a very long day, very busy, and I had some very unusual, very unexpected communications. I was feeling a lot of extra feelings, and I guess what I realized was that, I've had this motif or theme about dying to myself, dying to actually the suffering and coming from it, but also literally not living the same timeline, not living the same stories, not being the same presentation. And so it's been an interesting thing to then have my body mimic this and convince me that something terminal was going on. And yesterday I'm thinking to myself at the end of the day, there's a lot more to it than transitioning or even having light come down and visit you and change you. There's something that I was missing about this transition. This, what you might want to call a death, but really it's just for me, my human design pattern is that of, it's a 6, and so I was keyed to be a hermit or live that lifestyle for roughly 2/3 of my life. And then for the final third to live as an example. To live as more than a simple hermit. And how do you do that? That's all I've known is deep, deep, deep self-protection. Because around me I have not had gentle people. I have not had entirely loving people. Until recently. I've had brutal people. I've had people who were, cold, unemotional, and didn't care how I felt. It seemed to be one of the rules. It doesn't matter how, that's one of the lessons I learned. With some people, it does not matter how I feel. They're going to do what they're going to do. And I guess that's true, really, of everyone. But I chose to be around people and try and find safety around people who, what they wanted to do, it wasn't very loving. And it didn't matter how I felt. Ever. 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 I learned self-protection. I learned disregard. I learned that I was on my own. I learned that asking for help is not to be done. Because it only broke my heart. Because it was when I would ask for help that I would really get kicked in the groin. That I'd really be told bad things. And so I learned I had to be a hermit. I had to. And up until just like a year ago, I was still picking people like that. And then I couldn't figure out why. I'd get ghosted, or I'd get dissed, or I'd get fucked with, I'd get lied to. I kept thinking it was me. And it was. I was choosing that. I was choosing that. I needed that. And with all the wounding, there was so much love. And I think that's what makes it the hardest on everybody. But incompatibility, well, we can work around that, right? Yeah. So that's what I'm kind of learning. That part of this is really, at the end of it, It's really okay to have a preference. It's really okay to like what I like. And it's really super cool to say no thank you. I didn't want to miss out on anything. And guess what? I didn't. I didn't. And I don't know, it came at a high price. Because I didn't hang out with people who really had it in their hearts to stick. And I don't think I wanted them to. I don't know. Last night it just came to me. It's like, there's more to this having a new life than just having a new life. It involves choice. And it involves choosing differently than before. You can't have something new without behaving differently, without thinking something new, without believing and knowing something new is available. So, it's been a really amazing time to come to this place. I'm really grateful for all the love I've had. And I'm glad it was ambivalent, I guess. I mean, I obviously was driven by demons, as were my lovers. And we had a lot of fun. If it's a brand new day, if July 12th was day 1 or day 40, it doesn't matter. I can choose different, and it's taken this much work. I took a look at some of the older videos last night. I'm so proud of my work. And I know it's bumpy and I know it's wild. I'm so proud of having done what I did. It's so unique and it's so beautiful. And it's right from my heart. And it's only done with the best intentions to somehow reach out and help somebody else. So you don't feel as alone. You don't feel alone like I did. It's not time to feel alone anymore. It's not appropriate anymore. It's a choice now. It wasn't before. And I'm so grateful for my friends I have in my life. Because each and every one of them, I'm looking at their faces now. I know they love me. I know. I know they love me. I didn't know that about those other people. None of them. None of them. There was only one who I knew loved me. But he acted so opposite that it seemed to cancel things. This is different. The people who I am committed to, I know they love me. I know that because they show up for me. They spend time with me. They like my company. They ask for it. And I get to have more of that. And pretty soon, having a conversation of closure with an old lover who ghosted me, or lied to me, or found my body a pleasant host, but my heart just not their cup of tea. All of that. Thanks, but no thanks. I found something better. So guess what, guys? I was a nurse for 32 years. I've been a smoker for a little bit longer than that. That's coming to an end. I see a reason now to stop. It makes sense now. I'm never gonna stop smoking. I mean, come on. Tobacco is a good thing, and it's a form of mental illness to be like that anti anything. It's crazy. But the manufactured ones with the carcinogens, yeah, I gotta stop that. I was getting the message like 6 months ago when I lit up in the morning. You do understand you're creating a constant state of inflammation in your body habitus, correct? You understand that this is doing that to you? Alrighty then, carry on. I did. But yeah, that's gonna stop. And I'll pick a day and it'll be very meaningful and la la la. But I mean, I like what Bashar says. Alright, you switch realities like every millisecond. Literally. On and off, on and off, on and off. I mean, it's obvious. So pick the scenario you like and stick with it. He has a lot to say about addiction, about just handling addiction, and it's very helpful. And buttressing that with what the teachers said, and that with having completed my argument with alcohol and having a very healthy relationship with other, just that whole thing. Things are different. And so anyway, to close, I want to tell you that now it's it's 10:30, and I promised I would be finished by 10:30. I promised myself. Ooh, my hair looks like I'm like, ugh, I don't like that. So it's better. So by 10:30 I'd be done, and I'd be doing a task until noon. So now I'll push it back and go till 1. That's fine, but it's still freaking awesome. I'm making a mala for my kid. I want to get that done by Friday. I have a book to read and a notebook to begin as I begin to piece together how I'm going to do this GAPS protocol in my life. I have so much stuff that I want to go through and get rid of, and I have someone who is a family friend who's coming over this weekend, and she's going to do just that with me. So even having limited mobility, it's just an amazing thing, because she's just an awesome young woman and so gifted at this, and she doesn't mind it. What? This isn't making you angry? It's not making you like want to murder someone? Okay, well good, I'm glad, because that's what it does to me. It infuriates me. I'm just angry at myself because I have this mess. It's just, I can't, I'm so pissed. So it's gonna be nice to, I have to really have like protection around me when I'm doing cleaning, because I'm so mad at myself. I like it clean. I'm disorganized. So it's hard. I prefer it organized, and I'm disorganized and it's hard. And now I have help. And my dad is so helpful. He's so helpful and supportive. And he's showing his support. He's right there with my friends, with my loved ones. He is. And I can trust it. And my kid's doing better. A lot better. I don't see this changing. Yeah, there are bumps in the road. I think about the bumps we've had the last few months, and it's like, okay, well, yeah, there are bumps in the road, but at this point, they're going to be bumps. Just bumps. There are no more potholes. We're not going to sink the car, and we're not going to break the axle anymore. It's not like that anymore. It's just different. So, 2444. It's been numbers galore. I'm just really excited about the eclipse. I don't know what to expect. All I know is that I know that there's more time, because I know how it feels at the December solstice. I felt into it many times, and I thought it felt so good. It felt so different and good. I literally thought that that meant that I would be dead by then. I did. How is it possible to feel that good and still have a pulse, right? That's not how it works. I'll be alive and well in December. It's only 5 months away. But that was my thinking. Maybe that tells you how uncomfortable it's been around here for me. But I've worked really hard to get more comfortable, to understand the incomprehensible, to gain love and appreciation for myself, even when the people around me didn't really have a lot of that. And then things began to change for me. About a year ago. I got hooked up with an employer who was, it was the first time in my life. First time in my life. I trust them. And I had a difficult gig, and then I had a gig from heaven. And I have been so blessed and loved, and I've seen, I don't know, my world kind of crack open with more love. And I realized that I was just looking for love in places that it wasn't available for me. And I chose to get upset about that and wound myself because of it. I think probably to solidify those walls and make sure that the hermit time continued. But yeah, this human design thing, I think it's right on, and sure is shooting. The last third of my life is beginning, and I don't have to be a hermit anymore. And it doesn't mean socializing willy-nilly anymore. Far from it. It means socializing purposefully, mindfully, and for no other reason than it feels good. No agenda. No things to accomplish or knock off my list. Just relaxation. This is about getting well, after all. I don't know which tape it is, but they came through. They talked about a time of healing. And they asked, what do you need for healing? You need to know that you're safe. You need to be protected. You need to be supported. You need peace and quiet. You need an environment that is aesthetically pleasing. Beauty. Beauty. Joy. Laughter. And now is that time. Now is that time for me. So I've said my goodbyes, and I'm thankful for that. And there are some who are in my life who are just kind of hanging on with a couple fingernails, not really that interested. For the most part, though, wow. There's a lot of love where there once was very little. And that's taken me some time to get used to trust, and to stop testing. So, 39 days now till we're in Nebraska. Finally I get to take my kid to Nebraska. I can't wait. Magical, magical, magical. And very economical, I might add. And mystical. All is well. This is just a progress report. I'm at peace. There's a pain inside of me that was like it is not a physical pain, it's more of a etheric one. Down and like left lower quadrant and midline. They were just always there, just being sad, discontented, disappointed, confused, upset, traumatized by the simplest things. Oh, baby. This diet's gonna help, baby. But that feeling is already gone. I don't feel it. So as I continue to choose to do the things that are good for me, things get better and better. And I give all of this to you simply because I think it might help. There's a lot going on right now for a lot of people. So, all right, to close, I'll tell you, I'm really excited about my son's mala. Let me show you. It's tiger eye and yellow beading, and they're kind of loose, but my awl broke, and now I found a new awl, so I get to do more. And this is the one I did for me just recently. Amethyst and Shiva tear and rainbow and an angel wing. The last mala I did, I set the intention that I was going to experience a true, deep, loving relationship. And I found it, I don't know, oddly reassuring that that's complete. And I realized it about 4 months ago, and it was with no one except myself. It was with my higher self. And that one I think is lapis with bright yellow, like canary lemon yellow, and I think that's Shiva who's on that one. This one I set with the intention that all I want to do is live authentically. That's it. It's time to live this now. I'm done poodling around with it and poking it and pretending it's not good for me. I am that I am that I am. And so these will be going to Nebraska. Sort of the idea. I thought it would be good to have a mala because I'd planned on going into the hospital and getting surgery in July, but I rethought that. And I really like having this mala with me on the eclipse because it's really about shedding anything that doesn't work for me right now. And right now, well, that's now. The now moment, which stretches to eternity in either direction. This now. Authenticity. Ownership. It's time. I feel like people are waiting for that, you know? I know I have been. And with that, I think can come a softening where I just am not, even if we're not going to be compatible, we're not going to be like lovers, we can still be friends. Just, you know, guess what? If you feel it and I feel it and we both express it, we're in paradise. Paradise. Guarantee you that. And if there are problems, well, that's okay. That's okay. A little less needy. But a little more clear about who I want as a bedfellow anyway. It's a different criterion. There's inner circle and there's outer circle. Always has been, always will be. And I just think I'm getting a little bit better with the criteria of who gets in the inner circle. That's it. And part of that is I have no conscious control over. It's just like waves of people leave and waves of people enter. And it's all fine by me. So for right now, I'm just going to finish this up and then pursue my pursuits. There's much to do, but it'll be a very gentle day, and I'm very glad for that. We need one of those. Very busy yesterday. Very good. And every day I can and am living differently. I'm not sure I like the idea of semi-retired. I just like that I have transitioned to things that are more, that feel better, that are more supportive, and that I don't argue with. And that definitely, there's no arguing about this. I'm really, 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 really happy. And I hope you are too. I do hope that this time is bringing you revelation and support and I don't know, I want to say shock, because sometimes shock, you know, like, oh my God, that's what this is all about. Oh my God, this is so exciting. And who you really are and what you might be up to here, and that there are bigger things afoot and all that stuff. Woo, it's so much fun. So I hope you're into that. And I hope it's really psychedelic for you too. And if you have thoughts or comments or questions, you know, you can let me know. I'd love to hear some of the people who are following. But really, I'm very aware of my numbers. I'm very aware of how special you are. So thank you for showing up and listening to me in my happiness and clarity and excitement and relief. I was really sad earlier, and I cried and I said goodbyes and when's it gonna be my turn? All that stuff. It takes me a while sometimes to just spin off the sadness. I did. So, thank you for listening. Thank you, thank you. Have a good Saturday, or whatever day it is. Namaste.